get our little acceleration here with the Acadia Denali. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 GMC Acadia Denali. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for giving me some time with this Acadia. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Acadia, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 310 horsepower and then 271 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Acadia Denali. So first and foremost, I love the satin steel metallic. It really shows the body lines, especially on the hood. And then you see you've got these full LED lights here at the front. Fog lights are just down below. Parking sensors all along the front. And you have this massive chrome front grille with a little Denali logo right there. But yeah, overall, it actually looks really good and just kind of has like that sophisticated luxury look to it. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. As for the design on the wheels, they're actually pretty cool. It almost looks like a flower. So most of the wheels blacked out, but then you have the silver inserts that kind of go throughout, and it just makes it look really cool. It almost has like this floating type design with it in general. And then you got another Denali logo there on the side. It's kind of hard to see in the chrome, but other than that, you can see that the top of the mirror is body painted, which is another nice little touch. And then you guys can see the roof racks, which are part black, part chrome right there in the center. And then here's your full side view. Let's pop in the rear of the Denali. So you can see you actually get this rubber covering here in the back, and then picking this up, you can see there's some extra storage space just underneath. And then there's a full cargo cover right there as well. And then notice the rubber format continues onto the seat itself, which is pretty cool. With the seat, all you have to do is pull that strap basically, and that'll let you throw it forward. And then when you do want to pull the seat back up, all you have to do is just pull on that strap again and get it into place, and then pick the headrest back up. Pretty straightforward on the use. And then notice you do get some cup holders back here, and then there is a USB as well. And then you've got these little latches right here, which are for the second row. There we go. Little latches for the second row to throw those forward, so you can kind of just throw stuff into the back here of the Acadia. Go over the rest of the rear of the Acadia Denali. So first and foremost, I really like these taillights, how they kind of come up in this giant C shape, and then they go onto the back of the car as well. I actually wouldn't mind this part like disappearing if it was just like the side here. I think that would look really cool as well. You've got all of your chrome badging here in the back. You got the Denali badge. You have the receiver hitch down below. If you're wondering, towing capacity is about 4,000 pounds with the Acadia with the V6, and that's the back end. Here's the door panel in the back of the Acadia. So you can see you've got soft touch all along the door panel itself, and then you've got really nice wood trim just down below. And then here are the seats in the rear. So again, you've got nice soft touch perforations all throughout. I really love the stitching design and then the piping as well. This is just so you can throw the seat forward. And then notice the bolsters here are just as soft as the top portion, but let's actually pop in. So step in height, it's pretty easy to get in. If you're wondering, I'm about 5'11" and got a good amount of headroom with the cover for the sunroof opened up. And then you guys can see the legroom's pretty good. And then over here, you've got some controls for the climate system. So it's a tri-zone climate system. So you have a climate system here in the rear, heated seats as well. And then see just down below some USBs, a little area where you can charge stuff as well. Now, to the third row. So headroom in the third row is actually pretty decent. So that's not the issue. The issue is actually the legroom, a little bit more on the cramp side, but you could fit adults back there. I just wouldn't recommend keeping them back there for a long trip. And if you guys are wondering, it does have the sunroof that flies back, but yeah, this is everything for the rear. Here's the door panel at the front of the Acadia. So again, you've got all this soft touch over the door panel. You've got stitching all throughout, and then you've got the really nice wood trim just down below. A couple of controls for the windows. You've got your mirror adjustments as well, and then yes, the mirrors do power fold in. Memory seats just down below in that little area, and then this is for the tailgate to basically set it to different heights, which is a pretty neat little feature. And then you've got the front seats here. So you've got the Denali embroidery right there on the seat, all the piping all throughout, and then you can see you've got the nice perforations there in the center of the seat, and then just down below here in this area as well. Adjustments there on the seat, and then you can see you've got the rubber floor mats as well. There's what the pedals look like. This is your little parking brake control, and then the steering wheel is automatically adjustable, but there's one more look before we pop in. Here is the steering wheel with the Acadia Denali. So you can see you've got soft touch all around the steering wheel itself, and then you've got the darker stitching there on the inside of the steering wheel, and then you see you've got the controls for the center stack, your voice command and phone controls, heated steering wheel control over there, which we're going to turn that off, your collision assistance, and then your cruise control. There are radio controls on the back of the steering wheel to change the channel and the volume, and then you can see over there you've got the stock for the turn signal and then the lights, and then you do have the stock for the windshield wipers on the other side, and that is the steering wheel. Now in this little part you can see you've got RPMs over on the left side. In the middle you can see you've got the speed, and then over on the right side you've got the analog gauges for like the temperature and the fuel and all that kind of stuff. And then you can scroll through a couple different menus. So right now it's on the off-road status, but there's a couple different menus, like you can make it be a digital speedometer, for example. Just gives you different bits of information on the Acadia in general. Nothing too crazy. Most modern cars have something like this in their center screen. Now you can see we do have the center gauge cluster right here. So first off, if we pop it into reverse, you can see the backup camera is going to pop up, and the camera system on this is really good. So you've got a bunch of different views out of this camera system itself. It literally shows you everything on the Acadia. Like, I mean, you really couldn't ask for more from a camera system. So I definitely think that's a really big plus on this in general. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Response time on it's really good. And then notice you can control the rear climate here just from the infotainment system. And then you do have your analog like shortcut buttons just down below the infotainment system. You can see here in this little area, we've got the dual zone climate controls for the Acadia. And remember, you've got dual zone for the front, and then you do have a rear climate as well. And then here's the gear selector. So you push in for park, up for reverse, you push in for neutral, up for drive, and then you push in for the low range. Pretty straightforward with that. And then we do have a wireless phone charger with a little 12 volts and some USBs in that little area. And then we can see we've got our auto stop start stability control. This is the hazard lights, and then this is the parking sensors, and then a couple cup holders here with the wood trim just all around it. And then coming into this little area, this is where our heated and cooled seats are for the driver and the passenger. And then this is just to turn on or off the lane departure assistance. And then we've got the drive mode select. So the drive mode select is going to pop up into the center screen, so we can go over. You've got the all-wheel drive, and then you can see you've got the sport mode, and then you've got the off-road mode, and then you've got the tow haul mode. So you basically just shift the dial depending on what drive mode you want to go for. And the dial can go in a full circle, so you don't have to go all the way back. You basically can just turn it again to the right side, and then it'll start at the beginning with the drive modes. Now here is the center console. Lifting up, you can see storage space in here is really solid. It goes down pretty deep. And then we've got soft touch and wood trim all over the dash right here. And then opening up the glove box, you can see decent amount of storage space within that area as well. And that is everything for like the whole dash area in the Denali. So up top here, you've got a little holder there for the sunglasses, and then you do have a thing for the sunroof itself. Pretty straightforward. You've got a little clip, you just push it in, and then it goes back. And by the way, if you let go, it'll just fly back. The controls for the sunroof are just right there in that area, next to universal garage door openers. And then yes, this does have the cool camera mirror system. Nothing too crazy on that. It's pretty easy to use in general. Now that we're done with the interior on this Acadia Denali, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Acadia Denali with all the equipment it has, stickers for just under $57,000 for any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this Acadia Denali out and see how she drives. Well, let's quickly go over visibility here in the Acadia Denali. So you can see visibility of the hood. It's really easy to see out of. And there's your visibility through both of the mirrors. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear. It's a bunch of very large square windows, so it's pretty easy from a visibility standpoint in general. And remember, you do have that little camera mirror, which is pretty neat. And that all being said, well, let's set off. Setting off here in the Acadia Denali, and you guys can see we got to do a little bit of maneuvering just to get out of this area, so we get to see how the steering is and how big this feels. Definitely feels really small. It's pretty easy to get it through places, and then we'll kind of see how it does over this little bump just getting out of this area. Yeah, super smooth, so not an issue whatsoever. V6 has a decent amount of torque just getting up and going. But yeah, so far it feels really nice. I'm not hearing a whole lot of wind noise. We're right next to the highway, so it's super loud in this area for filming. But in the interior here, it's not really coming through all that much at all. Initially getting up and off, so the steering is pretty direct, but it's really light. And we'll see how the brakes are coming up to this. Yep, I'd rate brakes at about average for the segment. And then let's get our little acceleration here with the Acadia Denali. Yeah, those gear shifts are relatively quick. It gets you right into the power band. Now I am going to pop it over into the sport mode. So I've got it over into the sport mode now, and we'll get another acceleration coming up around this little corner here, but we can test the brakes again. Yeah, brakes are really solid. I really like how this drives. It definitely has like a smooth, nice luxury car drive. And then we'll get our second acceleration. Yeah, it feels about the same from an acceleration standpoint in the sport mode and the regular mode. The only thing I noticed is the sport mode just held it in a lower gear. I didn't really feel any difference with the pedal actuation, just that it felt quicker from the fact that it was already in a lower gear instead of having to downshift. But let's get into summing things up with this Acadia Denali. So you guys know I recently reviewed the AT4. I thought that was a pretty cool daily driver slash like kind of like light off-road SUV. For this one, obviously it's got kind of like the luxury deal about it. But compared to the AT4, I don't know if this is as good of a value, and I think that's why there's so many more AT4s than there are Denalis. The Denali's still really cool, it still looks really good, but you get a lot of the same luxury amenities with the AT4, but you also get the off-road capability. This one, you'd still be able to take it off-road, but it doesn't have the tires, and so you're not getting as good of a vehicle from an off-road perspective, and so you're not getting as much utility out of the Denali. It's still a great vehicle, but if I were to pick an Acadia, I would still stick with the AT4, and then also they look really cool. I mean, look at these things. They look so aggressive. But other than that, I think it looks great from the outside. The interior is really nice. All the tech is really nice with this as well. It's just not as capable as its AT4 sibling. That is going to sum things up with our video on this 2021 GMC Acadia Denali. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for giving me some time with this Acadia. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.